Hey there! On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the Avengers' first leader, Captain America, for Marvel Crisis Protocol. My name is Nate, and welcome to the Gamers Guild.
Hey guys, so I'm going to interrupt the normal style video real quick for two reasons. First, as a shout out to Tactical Tortoise for putting up far better photos of all of the character cards from whatever convention he went to. He took far better ones than I did at Gen Con, and makes it a lot easier to put it up in a video like this or just reading them on Facebook. So go look at his page if you're looking to find all the character cards to get a proxy game in or anything like that. The second part is because all my audio got lost apparently along the way for just reading through Captain America's cards. So anybody who's not really watching the video and just listening, I'm going to read through it so that you have an idea of what's going on the rest of the video. All that being said, the alter ego for Captain America is obviously Steve Rogers. He has a stamina value of 5 on his front half and a movement range of medium. He is a size 2 character with a threat value of 4. His physical defense and energy defense are also both 4, which is above average, and mystic defense of 3, which is about average. His first attack is Strike. It is range 2, strength 5, and has a power cost of 0. It says after this attack is resolved, this character gains power equal to the damage dealt, and on a wild it gains Push. If the target character is size 2 or less before damage is dealt, it may be pushed away from this character short. The second attack he has is his iconic Shield Throw. It is range 4, strength 4, and also has a power cost of 0. The two nice things about this attack is it ignores line of sight, and the defending character does not gain cover. It also gains on a wild Ricochet. After this attack is resolved, this character may make an additional Shield Throw attack. This attack must target another character within range 3 of the original target character, but it can be any range from Captain America. This additional attack does not have the Ricochet special rule, otherwise we would just be playing pinball with Captain America's shield. Now, his final attack is Shield Slam. It is range 2, strength 6, and has a power cost of 2. If the target character is size 2 or less after this attack is resolved, it may be thrown short. The really nice thing there is it doesn't require a wild for that, and throwing is actually going to cause some additional damage after that initial attack. It is worth noting that all of these attacks are physical. There's no energy or mystical for Captain America, which makes sense. And now back to the normal video.
So, looking at Captain America's superpowers, we start out with his leadership ability, A Day Unlike Any Other. It is of course for the Avengers Affiliation and reads, each turn you may reduce the power cost of the first superpower used by each allied character by 1 to a minimum of 1. His next two superpowers are both reactive and pair really well together. The first one is Bodyguard. It has a power cost of 2 and reads, whenever another allied character within range 2 is targeted by an attack, this character may use this ability. This character becomes the target of the attack regardless of line of sight or range. And then the follow-up is Vibranium Shield. It also has a power cost of 2, and it reads, when this character is targeted by a physical or energy attack, it may use this superpower. Add 2 dice to this character's defense roll against that attack. The really nice thing about this is you can actually use Bodyguard, and then because Captain America becomes the target of the attack, can then use Vibranium Shield. So, with that brief look at Cap's cards, we can kind of tell that he's just a pretty solid character, well-rounded. He's definitely a more defensive character than offensive, with some naturally high defense values that can be further boosted by his Vibranium Shield. So long as he doesn't try to go toe-to-toe with a character like MODOK that has a mystical attack, he should be just fine. As well, 2 of his attacks have the ability to move enemy models, either blocking where one of your models wants to go, or just straight up pushing them off of objectives, which seems really good as well. His injured side only makes him better at what he does best already, defense. He gains an additional point of stamina, putting him up to 6 on his injured side. As well, he gains the ability, I can do this all day, which reads, when defending against attacks, this character adds blanks in its defense dice to its total successes. Which means Captain America just gained 2 more blocking sides on his defensive dice, which is really good. It means that he actually has higher chances of rolling defense than you have an attacker rolling on attacks. As well, his ability A Day Unlike Any Other works really well on him since it reduces his first ability cost to 1, but applies to anyone who's on your team, even the non-Avengers, which means you can have some really cool synergies with a character like Red Skull or Baron Zemo. However, it's not all good for Captain America. He does have a couple of downsides. His 4 threat does not come with a lot of offense. His strike is average with the exception of a chance at a push, and his shield throw will maybe get a point or two of damage in, but only has a 50% chance of even activating the ricochet ability. His big attack is 6 dice, but compared to the other 4 threat characters, the lack of additional abilities attached to it means that he's just not hitting as hard or as much as some of the other 4 threat characters like Ultron or Captain Marvel. The other big downside to him is if he gets pushed out of position. Because Captain America is a team player, you really don't want him getting pushed or thrown out of the scrum, because he won't be doing much from the outside other than throwing his shield, which again isn't really going to be that effective as a weapon. So in summary, Captain America, very much like another character we are hoping for down the road, really is the best at what he does. But what he does is actually really nice. Defense. I know I ragged on him a little bit for his lack of offensive ability, but because his defensive abilities and tanky support kind of character comes into play, it'd be a little bit broken if he also had some really strong attacks to go with it. As well, A Day Unlike Any Other is extremely versatile. It can be used in a defensive situation like Cap's or maybe even Black Widow's counterattack, but it can also be used on other characters for more offensive things, Baron Zemo's charge or Captain Marvel's binary form. And power economy is going to be such an important part of this game, it's going to be really strong. Compared to some of the other leadership abilities we've seen, Black Panther actually requires you to spend power in order to reroll dice, and Red Skull will require your models to be on the attack to gain the benefit of his ability. So, while we're talking about Captain America, the only leader for the Avengers affiliation, I want to talk about some of the team tactic cards for that affiliation. The first one being Avengers Assemble. It does require the Avengers affiliation, and it has the active time frame window. It reads, any number of allied Avengers may spend 1 power to play this card. Characters that spent that power get to advance short. The downside here is that only Avengers characters get to use it. So if Spider-Man's on your team or Baron Zemo, they're not going to get to activate this card. But the upside is huge. You get to do objective snagging, outmaneuvering an opponent, you can do possible hit and runs, not to mention large base characters like Hulk are just going to absolutely abuse this thing. Anytime I run the Avengers, I don't know why this card wouldn't make the cut. The other card we get is Second Wind. It is also for the Avengers affiliation and is the active time frame window. It reads, any number of allied Avengers characters may spend 1 power to play this card. Characters that spent this power remove the stun special condition and remove 1 damage. The downside, of course, is once again only Avenger-affiliated characters can use this, but the 1-for-1 on 1 power for 1 damage off isn't bad, especially because if you take that damage again, you're getting that power back. However, the removing of the stun special condition is a very narrow extra bonus. If it was able to remove more condition tokens or just any condition token, it may be too strong in the game, but because of the narrowness of the card, it isn't one I expect to see a lot of play, especially since only 2 characters that we know of right now can cause the stun special condition, and stun's not even one of the more crippling conditions out there. So taking a look at the Avengers affiliation as a whole and Captain America, I have to say I'm planning on playing Captain America as a little bit more of a defensive character, probably holding on to a secure objective. And we'll make sure to bring a buddy along with him because that's where his synergies really begin to shine through. If we get a glass cannon down the line for him to protect, like maybe Scarlet Witch, it's going to be extremely powerful synergies. I think Cap's power will be pretty easy to save for the use of abilities and team tactic cards, because Strike can do almost everything Shield Slam can and gets him more power to hold on to for the use of his defensive abilities for him or the buddy he's next to. He's definitely not an aggressive leader, but there sure do seem to be some great synergies within the Avengers affiliation already, and we have Black Panther and Thor coming out the following 2 months after Wave 1, so the team's only getting stronger. So, that's all my summary for Captain America and his character card, but I do have a question for you all. Are you planning on running with Cap in the Avengers or Red Skull in the Cabal? Let me know down in the comments below, because I'm genuinely curious to see which way people are leaning before the game comes out. As well, as always, if you like the video, hit the like button. It just kind of makes sense and apparently tells the people at YouTube that I'm doing something good here. And also, if you haven't already, consider hitting that subscribe button. I continue to come out with more Marvel Crisis Protocol and maybe here in the future a couple other skirmish games content and whatnot. But as always, guys, until next time, keep on gaming.